I clapped.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the One Wheel Peel podcast. I am your co-host, Carbon, joined to me with Natron the Giant. Say hello, Nate.
Hello, everyone.
Today, we did kind of lie to you guys in the previous episode how we were going to talk about some gas versus diesel versus electric and transmission stuff and all that. And obviously, after the long break between recordings, because my computer broke and all this other
Like
bullshit. Um,
6 month break.
yeah, um, we decided that we would want to do kind of a bit of a shorter episode as well as more of a rant. So all of this is going to be kind of either misshifts on our opinion or grinding gears, more so just about random stuff, but more geared towards car meets, most overrated cars and manufacturers, as well as cars we want to see make a return. Obviously, with the coming up of fiscal year 24, there's a lot of discontinuations, and there's just stuff we want to see come back. So
Yeah.
well,
Or stay.
or
Or stay.
stay. That's a good one
Yeah.
too. Nate, why don't you start us off this time with the good and bad about car meets, in your opinion here? So,
All right. Oh, man, I don't start. I never start. This is weird. um, Car mates. The good side. The good side is it's an amazing community, right?
it is.
Anywhere you go, if you're into cars, if you're a builder, if you're a modder, if you're, restore, whatever you do, wherever you're gonna go, you're gonna meet good people. You're gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
Like, I've been to a few. Obviously, my Mercedes, if you remember from all the episodes past, still broken, still broken. But the few car meets that I did go to, you know, you have your little section of Mercedes. You have your sections of whatever the car meet would be, if it's rally or if
Hmm.
it's you go up a car manufacturer, classes, whatever. You have your little group, and you can integrate well, and you can
Oh yeah.
build bonds, like, almost
Oh yeah.
with
Definitely.
just with these people. Like, one of our buddies, he's a Holden guy in Fargo here. Like, there's a small Holden, like, group, like maybe
Hmm.
like a dozen people, if that,
Oh yeah.
and they're really close, and like they hardly talk, but when they go to car meets, it's like they're brothers almost,
That was how it was
right?
like with me and my Mazda speed friends back when I had my
Hmm.
Mazda. Oh yeah, we were all within like same clique, and I mean when we saw each other on the road, it's just like or hey, you going to Cars and Coffee today? It's like, oh yeah, definitely, I'll be right there. And
Hmm.
even though there's only three of us there, there's still some of us there,
Hey,
and
man,
it's the people you know.
and sometimes the smaller number is almost better, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like it's almost a special little clique, right? Hey, look at all those Ford guys over there, their Mustangs, all losers, all the Corvette, all the old white dudes, their Corvettes. They just got this little tiny niche of
Yeah.
speed threes, speeds.
It was pretty cool because like like um even though we didn't get a whole lot of attention with anything, it was still nice. Just like one of the last Cars and Coffees I went to, it was just like, oh yeah, like some gal pulled up in her Speed 3. I said, hey, my Speed 6 is parked right over there. I know there's a parking spot next to go
Mhm.
park next to me. She's like,
Yeah.
oh really? Like what color is this? I know. I'm like, well, it's purple. It's kind of you'll find it. And she did.
Hmm.
She
Hard to
parked right
miss.
next to me. So it's just like
Nice.
it's those little bits of, and she wasn't in our group yet. I don't think she ever wound up kind of getting into a bit of the Mazda Speed group, but it was still like it's just one of those things. And I will agree with that. But I will say on the bad side of that, if I may intervene,
No,
is
that's
you
fine.
get you get people that think they know what you should do for your build, and that's
Oh
that's
yeah.
where you get those people
No.
that are like, oh yeah, you have a
Mhm.
240. Why haven't you drifted this thing and thrown an LS in it? And you're just like, because I
Because I
like
don't want to.
because it's a fun hover car that I just drive. And
Hmm.
even though LS swaps are cheap, it's like I don't want to go through all that. Like here at this apartment, I can't do anything in my garage.
The same
So
thing here, like, with my apartment. Like, I can't do anything.
so it's just like I don't have this, and I'm not gonna go out and rent a shop.
No.
Like I'm not I'm not gonna do that. And I mean junkyard LS builds, they cost like 2-3 grand. And it's
Hmm.
just like I I mean, I'm getting like to my mid 20s, and I'm like, 2-3 grand goes a long way. And maybe wait on the line with my mid 30s when I have a midlife crisis, then something might happen. But
Yeah,
like now,
right.
I'm like now, no, it's so that's more the bad side of those car meets.
And to carry on with that, like you kind of went into a kind of a flow that I was going to go to. Like I'm going to touch on a little bit more on the LS thing
Mhm.
later in the episode when we talk about overrated things.
Yes.
Um, but going into some of the negatives of car meets, like I can attest just in town here. Um, there's people that are like, you go to a car meet. Most of us in the car community are like, yeah, this is cool, this is fun, nice
Mhm.
build, awesome. What'd you do? And there's others like, well, that's stupid. You should do this instead. Or why aren't we racing? I'm gonna race you. I bet I'm faster than you.
Yeah, that's
Like there's
oh.
those times where it's like you're not a car guy. You watch Need for Speed like once, or you watched Fast and Furious, and now you think that's how it
I was
works.
gonna say, what do you
Like
think? You're
no,
Dominic Toretto? Like Jesus,
yeah.
like it's
Like,
like
oh, cool. You are a Mark IV Supra. You're not fucking.
yeah, and that's the other bit
Yeah.
too. Like, and I mean that's gonna go into the next topic too at hand. But it's just like it's like im- the biggest pet peeve of mine that I always had with our the cars and coffee meets that I always went to. That's more of the car scene that I went to. A lot of
Mhm.
them were chill, but I was talking to our friend at work about it, and I've talked to you about this as well. Like I own a camera to take pictures of like obviously it's
Yeah.
a camera. But like
Yeah.
I specifically had it because I was just like I want to make memories of this car. I want to make memories with any car I own, blah blah blah. And
Yeah.
go to these car meets and take pictures of cars. And my goal was to get a picture of every car that had showed up because in my opinion, everybody that showed up to those
Mhm.
deserved credit.
Absolutely, 100%.
And
Because I know where you're going. I know exactly where
yeah,
you're going with this too.
it's
It's everyone focuses in on it's a BMW, it's a Ferrari, it's a C8 Corvette. Like, no, dude.
it's
Look
like
at go to the small shop build cars, the ones where
yeah.
they've put the time, blood, sweat, and tears into the car. Those are the
Well
ones that should be getting it, not this guy who spent how much money on a car and that's it.
yeah, like don't get me wrong. No, don't get me wrong. There was a 90s NSX at a couple of these car meets, and I will say yes,
Ooh.
that car, yes,
Eh,
that one deserves like the 7 to 12 photos of it. But
pretty rare car too.
yeah, and that's why I'm
Yeah.
saying that. But like you get a Ferrari, and I'm like, I don't give a fuck about Ferraris, dude. Like, come on. Like
Yeah.
my Speed
No,
6 was the only one in town that went to those car meets, and I got fuck all.
nothing. Yeah.
And the thing is nobody knows about those cars because nobody fucking asks about them. And I'm sorry that I'm
Yeah.
swearing a lot, but I'm passionate about this
Oh,
because
yeah, no, 100%.
it's like
Just a
I
little
don't go.
disclaimer.
Obviously, like for me, I didn't go there to get the attention, but it's still one of those things that like even though I went there, I wanted to make the
Mhm.
point that it's like, hey, this is my car, and some of the guys that were curious about it, I knew my stuff about the car, and I would tell them, what's all been done to it, which wasn't a lot, but it's like, yeah, and they're like, was that all front wheel? No, it's an all-wheel drive car. And then just the looks on their faces, like I had a couple old
Mhm.
guys ask me about that Speed 6, and they're like, the thing's all-wheel drive, yeah, four-cylinder turbo, 6-speed manual, and
Mhm.
they're like, how much power? I'm like, well, stock like 280, but and the mods probably adds no more than another 20, so 300.
Mhm.
They're like,
Right.
you're making
Mhm.
300 out of that thing? Yeah, I am in like a 3,600 pound car, but still,
Yeah.
like, I, in my opinion, like when I went there, I I took photos of everything, and I actually had somebody hit me up, like I think one of the
Mhm.
weeks that I did it. Um, I did it, and they hit me up, and they're like, "Hey, can you take some more photos of this specific car? Because this is my car, and I want a couple more photos of it." I'm like, hell yeah, I'll gladly take a couple more pictures and message you them later. That's what I wound up
Mhm.
doing. Was the next month they were there, I took more photos of it, sent it to them. I was like, here, like I'm not a professional photographer in any means. I did not go
Yeah.
into Photoshop. I didn't go into anything else after that. But
Mhm.
that was the recognition. They saw that their car got recognized by somebody,
Uh-huh.
and
Yeah.
that's what made me happy. I was like, dude, like yeah, I got one photo of your car, 1 to 2 photos of your car, and it made it on there.
Yeah.
Like
That's
that's
huge. That's all it's
that's
about.
yeah, and that to me when I got hit up, on getting them more photos of their car, it made me happy because that meant that somebody went there, didn't expect it, got it, like
Mhm.
obviously saved the photo, and they're just like, I love this. Take more. Please,
Mhm.
like this car, in their opinion, deserved an opinion and as well as a story.
Yeah,
Sure, I'll gladly get you more pictures.
I like
And
that. Every car has a story. Every car has something behind it.
yeah, and
Those car meets are designed to share that story.
yeah, like and just going and seeing like 20 pictures of a Mark V Supra or seeing 20 pictures of a GTR. I'm like, I can Google those.
Yeah.
Like, I understand like not everybody wants 20 pictures of a fucking Honda Civic. You know, I can understand that, but still recognizing that it was there, in my opinion, just one photo. That's all I'm asking. One photo. That's all that I'm asking. I that's all I'm gonna leave there. Other than, I mean, obviously getting into like most overrated bullshit with this, and
Yeah.
yeah, I mean most overrated right off of the bat is all the LS swaps. Like
Yeah.
I get
I
it,
agree.
you can make power, but I don't want to do that, and I know you're gonna touch on it as well. So
Yeah. So with the most overrated stuff, like specifically LSs, I'm not gonna say all LS swaps are overrated because there
yeah,
are some that are freaking good.
hmm
I'm gonna say LSs, period, are overrated.
yeah,
And here's why. They're in everything.
yeah. Which is partially
Like
why like I don't want to get into drag racing, because if I did, I knew exactly what I would do.
it's just an LSX. You
Like
just put an
yeah,
LSX or an L7 in it.
you
Like,
put
oh,
you go
ooh,
LS and a Fox body.
yeah,
Like
cool.
and then you drag
There's your
race.
meta.
Yep.
It's why, like, I can't remember who said it. I can't remember who said it or where I saw it, but someone said that the LS engine is the modern day Chevy 350 small block.
Yep. 100%.
It's in freaking everything. Mind you, yeah, they're pretty bulletproof at this point because, well, they've been in production for how freaking long.
Yeah, and you can do
Um,
whatever the hell. So
yeah, I think what LS3 is capable up to what 1500,
oh, easily.
1800 ish or so.
Yeah.
So
And
I
just
mean, you can get a lot out of it.
the fact that you can
But
take like LS7 parts, throw it on an LS3 or LS1, like you can literally just combine shit. Like it's like, oh yeah, I have a
yeah,
5.3. Take stuff
mhm,
from an LS7, take stuff from LS3. Like it's just like
yeah,
we get it. The engine's
mhm.
super modular. Do something interesting.
Do something cool.
Yeah.
Make it unique. Other than it's just there's a Chevy big block.
Yeah.
Oh
Like that's the biggest thing too, is like going into that, seeing like, because my one of my favorite cars is, I think it's an 88 notchback Fox body. But
yeah,
I love the design of it, all that. I would never LS swap that car. I love the sound of a 302. You know, that's what I would do. Now, as for the actual 302 that I would do, would probably be like a 94 302, because they're like the last couple years that they're in production.
mhm,
So I would do something like that, but it would still be a Ford motor, or even, I mean,
mhm.
if I had the
Or
fucking
even like
money,
Kyle swap it
I was gonna say if
or
I had the
Voodoo swap
money,
it.
like fuck, like yeah, I would throw the money into a five liter or 5.2 liter, Coyote or Voodoo. I would do
Yeah.
that. Don't get me wrong, that's fucking expensive, but I would do
Or you can go even weirder and put a 5.7 Hemi in
it.
it.
6.2 Hellcat right there.
The elephant.
Oh no.
Pretty sure the elephant is as big
I
as a notchback.
Okay, I'm gonna put a side note here. This is not on our schedule whatsoever to talk about. I love how
Mhm.
Chevy one up Dodge, because Dodge obviously created this 1,000 horsepower supercharged V8 crate
Yeah.
motor, right?
Yeah.
And in my mind, Chevy saw that and went, "I can fucking one up you," and came
Yeah.
out with the 632 big block, and it's 1,000 horsepower, not naturally aspirated engine.
Yeah.
And to me, it fucking it is it was so funny when I heard about it. And then obviously, like the Hoonigans and all that, they built their third gen Camaro. One of the coolest builds I've seen, though, by the way. And
That's it.
it's it's just like, oh yeah, we have a naturally aspirated 632,000 horsepower. It's like 1014, I think, actually,
It's
naturally
still
aspirated.
like
It's fucking absurd.
NA. That's insane. NA is that's insane.
Yeah. And so
Like I don't even know if Bill can do that.
Yeah, like I looked at that and I just went, "Where's Ford's response?" And Ford didn't do anything because it was fucking Shelby that came out
Yeah.
with it.
No, Ford's too busy getting into F1, getting back into F1.
Oh, Ford is?
Yeah, they're trying to get back into F1. I think they have a deal with Red Bull right now for engines. I don't quote me on that. I Google it. I have a computer in front of me, but I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty
We'll
sure.
cover it. We'll cover it down the line after that.
That'll be
We'll add
an
that.
episode.
That'll be added to the list. Whatever.
That'll
But
be in our different types of racing episode, which I'm gonna have fun with that one.
you'll go off that episode.
I'm gonna have fun with that one. But anyway, to get back to the actual topic
Yes.
of most overrated cars and manufacturers. Oh man, where could we even start? I know what yours are. Yours is gonna be those two.
I'd say we go
Those
off,
two Italians.
go off the cuff and just do like a quick 5. How about that? Like right off the cuff. Because
Quick.
but see, the thing is I've always had these things stewing in my head, so I know what so I'll go first because it'll give you time to think.
That's fair. I have at least 2.
So I can say the 2 manufacturers that I absolutely hate and think are the most overrated, and I know Nate,
it's gonna trigger a lot of. It's gonna trigger a lot of people.
But in my opinion, I have a good reason for it. So if you think that this
true.
isn't a good reason, I don't care. Anyways, Lamborghini and Ferrari, overrated as hell. Now here's the thing. I'm not saying I don't like those manufacturers. They have good cars. They've made good cars. A couple of them are my favorites. However, everybody wants one. When you wake up in the morning, right? You have your cup of coffee, right? Whatever. And you think, how am I going to get successful, or where is the point in which I believe I'm successful? And you see all these like influencers, whether it be social media, YouTube, Twitch, or even you go like you see celebrities, what do they have? They all have Ferraris and Lambos. And so people idolize that and they centralize it, and they're like, I need this. No, don't get me wrong. Great marketing, by the way. Great marketing for Ferrari and Lambo. They don't have to do anything. The influencers got it. But I can even loop the Nissan GTR into it as well. Like everybody want the R35 specifically. Everybody wants those 3 because that's what they've idolized in their head and what they've singled out to the point of that's where I reached success. And so
you could also put BMW into that.
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of BMWs on those influencer pages too, whether it's an i8 or an M5.
Yeah, and so like I sit here and again, it's not that I absolutely hate Lambo or Ferrari with a passion, or I hate the GTR, or I hate you know what, fuck BMW, I absolutely hate it. But anyways,
yeah,
like
I agree.
like I'm not saying I hate those 3. I'm just saying that I hate the place that it's gotten in society to the point where I'm just like, I can't ever see myself, if I ever got to that point where I was massively successful, I can't see myself owning one of those because everybody wants one. And that's why I go for some of the more underrated shit. How many people do you know that say, I want a Mark IV Supra or an R34?
3.
Like, but
you're 2 of them.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, would love to have them, but everybody wants one. Who mentions the FDRX7? Me.
You.
Because obviously, yes, the Wankel engine isn't the best, but nobody fucking wants those cars, and it pisses me off. That's one of the most underrated cars out of the 3 Japanese legends that have come out. That is one of the most underrated, and so that's my side of manufacturers and a little bit of cars. But hey,
no, we've talked about that at length, and I've listened to you rant on shift many times about Ferraris and Lambos. And I agree with you to a point. I do. They are very overrated. Everyone has one. Everyone wants one. It's like, oh my god, it's the poster. For some reason I don't want a car that has a poster. It doesn't. No,
I can agree. Yeah.
But I will also counter the Lamborghini and the Ferrari with its heritage and history.
Yeah.
right? And that's going to go into another episode here in the near future. But I respect both of those just because of the history with Enzo Ferrari, and then you have the whole Ford versus Ferrari battle in the
Mm-hmm.
'60s.
Yeah.
Lamborghini starting from tractors,
Yeah.
and a dude basically saying "F you" to Enzo Ferrari. I can do this better than you. I like that guy. But no, for me, one of the most overrated car manufacturers right now, or in like the past 20, 30 years, is BMW.
Yeah.
Like they have all these cars, like that, all the M series are minus like the M5 isn't terrible, but everyone has an M5.
Yeah.
The M8, the M8, just because it's V10. But everything else, it's not good. There's a few good BMWs here or there, like the E30. The
Yeah.
E30's pretty good. I like that one, but only because you can mod it so much. Other than
Yeah.
that,
It's the same thing with like the E46 too. Like
yeah,
that body sound. Yeah. Like it's super modular.
yeah.
But and
But
that
that's all they have.
yeah.
That's all they have.
And guess what winds up happening to most of them? LS
You can
swap
swap. Exactly. So
because
it's like,
the inline six is trash. The
yeah,
inline six they make is total shit.
I don't I don't know a good inline six. I think the last good inline six that I saw was like from a C10 in the 50s.
Yeah. Well, okay. So best inline six, I would have to say ever, especially within the past 20 years, because everybody figured out how to make it better. Has to go to the 2J.
Yeah, that's gonna
But
be another
but
overrated thing
but
for me.
yes, that is
I don't. It's the 2J. Everyone does a 2J or
yes
1J or a 1.5J. Ooh, what are the 1.5Js? But the 2J, everything. Everyone puts a 2J in everything.
yes. But the
Only because it's easy to get 2,000 horsepower.
yes, and I'll agree with you. It pisses me off, but at the same time, I can't argue with that because and
Yeah,
but you also compare it side by side. Like going back to the junkyard LS builds, it's
yeah.
like $3,000 to make 1,200 horsepower. And then
Or like
what?
5, but it's the 2J.
Five just for the block of a 2J,
Yeah,
like just for the long block, it's $5,000 probably. And then
yeah.
just to
Like
mod
no,
it, like it's stupid how you can make stupid power with a 2J. Don't get me
yeah.
wrong, but I agree with you in total in
Hmm.
in all of this. As a Japanese, like as the JDM lover of the two of us, like I like JDM more than you. I
Yeah.
agree with you 1,000% that everybody puts 2Js in it, everything.
Uh-huh. I just
So
I can't get behind the 2J. Can't get behind an LS. Can't get behind those. For an overrated car, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna say the R31 through R34.
yeah,
All four are
all four
one, two, three,
generations.
all four of them. Yeah,
I would even
like
loop the
it's.
R35 into it too.
I like the R35 only because the technological advancements that it has. Like we have
Yeah,
we have all-wheel drive, uh, all-wheel drive with launch control. And the launch control in that thing will break your freaking neck. The 0 to 60 is insane.
yeah,
Stability control is nuts. That's the only reason I like it is because of the technological advancements.
yeah.
The previous 4 generations, I I could go without seeing one and that'd be fine.
Well, and let's break it down even further. RB26. Don't get me wrong, decent motor. Oiling
Yeah,
issues.
yeah.
What is
It's
it
like
with
the
Nissan and their
freaking.
oiling issues?
I don't know.
RB26 had it. The VQ35 and 37 have them,
Eh, never say that engine again.
but the VQ38 doesn't have that problem. What the fuck happened, Nissan? Like,
I think
like
they realized that they suck and they need to fix it.
yeah, like, but seriously, the 350Z and G35, 370Z and G37, right? All four of those.
Hmm.
What in the hell? Who decided that? Who in Japan decided that a trombone trumpet hybrid sounding fucking motor was amazing? It is not. It sounds like crap. And when I at my previous apartment with our friend, I almost every Saturday night in the summertime I had to listen to them.
It's just.
I could hear them. Yeah, I could hear them rolling around town. I'm like, oh, there's a coyote. Oh, yep, there's four 350Zs or G35s.
Yeah, the G35, so the 350Zs, yeah, yeah, no, they're bleh.
Like, I'm
They're
like,
just not good.
that's the other thing. I'll throw in overrated shit. Is everybody thinks everything sounds good straight piped. I can't believe I was gonna forget
No.
this. I like, don't get me wrong, right? Some things will sound good straight piped. Some, like motorcycles.
No, I will counter that because if you straight pipe a Grom, it just sounds like you're farting bubbles.
Right, but I mean like a Harley, like Harley
Yeah,
motorcycle, like
a
our
Harley, an
our
Indian, decent, V8s. I will admit, an LS with a good exhaust kit does sound good, but
yes, it has to.
again,
I think
it's got to sound good.
people of the car. I'm gonna talk right at the camera for this one too. People of the car community, when you decide or when you have that random waking up moment at 2 in the morning, cold sweat in the middle of summer, and go, I need to chop off my fucking cats and mufflers. Right then and there, sell the car.
Yeah,
Especially if
yeah.
it's a goddamn 350Z. I don't know why you ever think it's good. Now, this is coming from somebody who cut his mufflers off of his Speed 6. But guess what? It gave it better tone, and I will fight it every step of the way. It gave
Yeah,
it
those
better tone.
four cylinders sound decent.
So, like, and I'm not sitting there, again, I wasn't pushing a whole lot of power with the car.
Another one too with that is, speaking of cutting exhaust off or cutting mufflers off and all that crap, it's not like any of your performance cars or any of that stuff. When people cut the exhaust off of like a 2003 Ford F-150,
Yes.
I want to just strangle them.
Yes.
It sounds so bad.
Or like your 2001 fucking Chevy 1500 with 300,000 miles on it. You hear that 5.3,
Yeah.
like, dude, just put me in the.
Just take me out to pasture, like something. Like I want to die.
Like I'm old Yeller with rabies, for fuck's sake, man. Like
you
Jesus.
shouldn't be able to cut exhaust off and make the rod knock louder. Like, that's just not a thing.
See, oh shit. See, that's the thing with your exhaust though, right? Especially on those older Chevy motors, is if you can't hear the rod knock before you cut the exhaust off,
You shouldn't be able to hear it after.
you shouldn't be able to hear it after. So all of a sudden
Like, good God.
it's like
Or valve lift.
yeah,
or anything.
you're just kind of sitting there and you're just kind of like, wait a minute, why do we hear a massive ticking? I don't got a camshaft installed in this. It's like, well, then your pistons are probably meeting something else. So
Yeah.
anyways,
It's time to hang up that rope.
oh my
So
god,
that was a good rant.
dude, but like I had that epiphany the other day where I was like, I fucking know exactly what I want to talk about. Because I think my
Exhaust
girlfriend, I think my girlfriend was in the passenger seat when I just started rambling, and I'm like, that's a fucking right there
Yeah.
for the next episode.
I'm to the point where I can, like, with that, like I can hear when a VQ is straight pipe or when it just doesn't have an exhaust, period, because it just sounds like I just had a can of beans and I'm running a marathon.
And I don't care what you think, right? Your VTEC on your 30 horsepower Honda motor does not sound good straight piped. It doesn't.
No.
Make it have a good tone. There's a fucking TikTok out there that has an auto body shop dude standing in the pit with the mufflers going like, all right, does this sound good? The guy fucking brings it up to rev limiter, nice tone. All right, next muffler. It's not welded on. He's literally just putting the muffler on the end of the pipe. Yeah. And so then they decide, like, yep, we have it on video. This is what it sounds like. It's like, oh, I like the third muffler. Boom.
Yeah.
Like
I don't.
Anybody watching this that you're holding the damn like Sawzall in your hand, things up on the jack stands, and you've got us playing in the background. Put it down. I don't care.
It down.
I don't care if you say like, oh well, Carbon, I have a Speed 6. Okay, if you have a Speed 6, it's got to specifically have a catback Magnaflow exhaust system. All right, specifically.
Unless you're holding the Sawzall with a new kit, an entirely new exhaust sitting next to you.
Yes. Okay.
Put it down.
If you're watching this, and you're doing exhaust work by putting a new shit on, yes, continue what you're doing.
Thank you for trying to actually make it better.
Yes.
For the rest of you,
put it down.
Fix yourself.
Put the rubber mallet down or the fucking maul hammer you got going on, and then the Sawzall.
Put the Tanya Harding 2000 down. Anyway.
My dad always told me, you know why they call it a maul hammer? And I look at him and say, why? He goes, because if you drop them on your toes, it'll smash them all. Yeah.
That's pretty good. That's pretty
So
good. I
so
like that.
another and I guess you could also say too, if you just start swinging it hard enough, it'll smash everything. So it'll smash them all. But yeah,
That works too.
put down
Okay.
the sawzall and all that other bullshit. Anyways,
Moving on from stuff that makes us want to just,
unalive.
yeah, we're gonna move into cars and/or manufacturers. I'm gonna throw that in. That we want to see make a return.
Pontiac. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I knew you were gonna say that. Bring back the Pontiac. Have them remake the 1970 GTO. Just put a rotary in it.
Dude, if General Motors made a rotary motor, everybody who owns a GM is going. I'm going to fucking Ford. Like,
Yeah, no,
they're
100%.
like, no.
100%.
You imagine they come out with a C8 and the C9 and it's a rotary engine? They partnered with Mazda.
Mhm. If they'd partnered with Lexus to make an engine, that'd be okay. As long as they bring in Panasonic to the exhaust.
Agreed.
But
Anyways,
I started this off, so I'm
yeah.
going to go to you because I started this episode off. I'm going to see what you want to make a return.
So this is kind of
Or
more of
stay.
this is more so just kind of recently because it's as we've talked about it, and obviously also like I've played a lot more Forza Horizon 5 too, and just so
Yeah.
like the audio of it and just
Yeah.
actually just like learning the handling of the car too. Like even though I'm playing on controller, but I have to say of Dodge Viper. I'm sorry, but the thing is if they're gonna make one, I feel like with the legacy of the Hellcat that they've put out, it's got to be a supercharged V10. Because
Jesus.
and the reason I say that is because you hear all of these Challenger whines as this Hellcat passes by or the Demon passes
Mhm.
by. You hear that
Mhm.
whine, and then you hear you know a Viper pass by and it's nothing. It's just engine, and it's just kind of
Yeah.
like Now, granted, I think what they could do is they could take some inspiration from the ZR1 Corvette, right? Where it is a supercharged. God, I don't know. LT5
Uh,
V8.
I want to say yes.
If you know in the
The
comments,
C8?
put it down in the. Yeah, it's a C7. It's just
The
before.
C7?
It was like their super track made
Yeah, it was
Corvette,
weird.
but it
Yeah.
essentially. So
I remember
that motor
Corvettes.
had 755 horsepower from the beginning, and that obviously had
Yeah.
it supercharged. What they wound up
Mhm.
doing was giving it a bigger hood to compensate. Dodge, do that. Like, give it a bigger hood to compensate for the supercharger. Now, the other problem is, too, is you have to find, if you're going to do a supercharger similar to the Hellcat and the Demon, where it's over the
I
top of the
mean,
motor,
it's a V10 too. I think it's going to be long
yeah,
and
and
big.
that's what I mean.
Like it's
Is
going to go from because what was the Viper before price wise? Like 100 around the 100, 130.
I think it's 130 grand.
Yeah, you're going to probably double that.
But you would have people that would buy it. That's the thing. Do you have
See, I don't know if you would though, because I know a lot of people who like just the straight V10, grunt sound.
right? But and that's why I'm saying like I don't know with the legacy that they've put out with the Hellcat and the Demon now. Like now they have
Mhm.
the Demon 170, I believe.
Yeah.
You know, I think with the legacy they've put out with that, they almost have to try it, even if it's a Pro Charger. Like
Yeah, I can see
if it's
that.
something like that, so it's obviously like on the front of the motor connected to the belt, whatever. If it's something like
Mhm.
that, that'd be fine too, because you could still get supercharger wine off of it.
Ah,
Now, so and it's still probably obviously you got to make it a track car,
mhm.
and depending on what you now, I could see with the newer rendition of it, they'll put a dual clutch in it because it's a lot quicker. All this, so
It's also going to push people away though too, because the Viper's been
it's been a
you know
manual this its
almost
entire life.
only a 6 speed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or 7 speed. I think the recent ones were 7 speeds.
were they?
Yeah,
I mean, that's the same thing though with like Corvettes. Like Corvettes for their automatic or 6 speed. Now they have dual clutch
yep.
C8s, and
But
it's
you have to
almost only strictly dual clutch.
but you have to think about where technology is nowadays. Dual clutch is way faster than
Yeah,
on the floor.
And I
So
mean, if Corvette's trying to keep up with their European counterparts, it makes sense.
right, and so that's why like the other bit for me too is like I don't know. I'm a big 1LE guy. I loved the ZL1
Yeah.
1LE. I would really like to see another one. I would like to see a 7th gen. Not
Right.
obviously specifically the 1LE, but I
Mhm.
remember reading like a long while back, probably some like gimmicky ad or whatever it was, but
Mhm.
it was like they're bringing back the IROC, and I was like, yeah, and they're like, it's a
Yeah.
V10, and I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Like I literally
Yep.
I read it, I was like, why?
Yep.
I was like, why?
Yep.
And so yeah, like I saw that and I got scared. I'm like, ah, like why Chevy?
Yeah.
Why would you make a V10?
Why V10? No,
Look at
Chevy.
Ford's attempt at a V10. It's called the Triton, and it does nothing.
Yeah.
Like,
You're better
uh,
off either just stick with a V8 or a turbocharged V6.
right.
Don't do a V10.
But
Leave that to Dodge.
and then I think if I'm gonna go one more car out of any of these, I'm a dig in here, and I don't think you're
Oh,
gonna expect this.
I'm scared. I rub my mustache for this one.
It's a Ford, and there were only
Okay.
about I want to say there was only like less than 1,000 produced.
Okay.
The
Go on.
RS200.
Oh yeah. Okay, I will agree with
Please,
that. I
please,
think I agree with that.
kind of do something. Obviously, don't make it like a hatchback like you
Your
have
RS2000.
the RS200.
The 200 or RS2000? What is RS2000?
Let me look it up. You start talking. I'll look it up.
Okay. Anyway, when he goes to that, I'm gonna go into what I want to see make a return. I have a car and I have kind of like
Yeah, it's the RS200.
and is RS200? Okay.
Anyway, sorry.
Car slash like I don't even know how to word this. A coach building is what it is. I
Okay.
want to see coach building make a comeback. Right. So that's gonna bring into your companies like Packard, your old also build pre-war cars, right? Your old Dodges, your old stuff.
Willies.
The reason
Willies.
pre that the only reason I bring up coach building is because of this huge push for electrics, right? Electric cars. In an electric car, you don't have to worry about fitting an engine. You don't have to worry about fitting exhaust and all that stuff. You can build basically whatever you want. You have a Lego set as a car, right? So it's going to open doors for some really, really unique like cars, like the Rimac, for example. Like the Rimac looks, wow. Or the even the Volkswagen, the really really fast one. I can't think of it right now. So it's at
Or what Hyundai's making too. That
yeah, the e-tron. I mean, they all look good, and it's just going to open the door for just some really unique, really like off the wall like car designs. I want to see that make a comeback. Or the other thing too is back way back in the day, you could order just a frame, and then have a and customize. You basically build your car frame up. It's like a crate car thing. Like, I want to see that make a comeback.
I think that'd be pretty interesting. I think.
And then for like,
Oh, I'm sorry. No, you go. Well, we'll wait. We'll wait for me to talk. It's your turn. I gotta get better at this.
no, but for like a car that I want to see make a comeback. Oh man, there's so many. There's so many. Um, this is gonna sound kind of weird, but I want to see like OG like Mustangs make a comeback.
Okay, how
Like
OG?
like think 60s, 70s Mustang, Camaro, like trying to kill each other. Like I want to see that make a comeback. So I want to see the Camaro stay. I want to see the Mustang stay. I want to see that. Um,
and I'm fine with them.
dynamic.
I'm fine with them being pony cars. Like a lot
Yeah,
of people have a problem with the Camaro being like a track car. I'm like, I'm fine with that.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
Like you gotta think, bruh. I gotta turn at some point. I can't keep going in straight lines. Like there,
You're going.
the way that I saw it with the 1LE released, dude, they're applying to the autocross community or the people that want to put down track times. It's the same thing with the GT500 that they did. They're and the recent GT352, like the 2016 and like all that. They're applying they're applying to the people that want to put down track cars, or
Yeah.
track times, because they're trying to compete with like people like Porsche.
Yeah.
So
Like
I'm
it's yeah, they something needs to change. Otherwise, because obviously the Mustang's now a freaking electric SUV. And the Camaro's done. Camaro's done.
yeah.
Like we're not getting any more Camaros. We have the Hellcat left. Like keep that muscle pony, environment around, that community around. Because if that dies, then we're stuck with what?
Civics.
Dodge Hellcat owners?
Yeah.
Civics? Yeah. Civics.
So
I'd like to see those make a return / stay and stick around for a while.
yeah. Well, I think we left a pretty good mark. There's one thing that I want the viewers to do as well. Out of the recent cars that have come out within the past year or past fiscal year, I want you guys to write or comment what your guys' favorite car is that has come out, as well as just kind of a little reasoning. I think that would be pretty good, because then we could maybe in the next episode read a couple of them off and then go over it. So yeah, and with that,
And mind you,
oh,
they don't need to be like, what's the most recent supercar? Like, what did Koenigsegg just put out? It could be your just average, like a Kia K5.
like the new
right?
Type S Integra.
Yeah, like it could be, crazy out the wall super hypercar, or it could just be your daily driver.
There you go.
It doesn't need to be just, what do you like? What are you excited for? That's
Yeah.
what we want to hear.
Definitely. I think that'd be good. You guys have some homework. We have our homework. And thank you guys for taking a listen into the One Wheel Pill podcast. We won't be giving you guys a sneak peek of what we're doing next week, because honestly, we got to figure that out. So you guys have a good one, and thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
That's it, everyone.